a lot of people are like, oh, where's that accent from? Or is it fake? Is it real? I mean, it is what it is. I studied at the American School of Bombay. So I was around teachers and students who spoke like that. And it's just something that
you picked up.
You pick up, yeah. It's not something I put on or try to. In fact, I listen to myself back on these interviews. I'm like, oh my God, I do have a really strong accent. I was definitely not gifted this body. I worked really hard for it. You know, I was an overweight child up until my teenage years for some time. And there was a lot of scrutiny on me because of that, you know. And I think where people could take that in a very negative light and shell up, I took that in my stride, and that motivated me and that fueled me to do something transformational and make a change. Even though we were born into this you know, industry and this amazing, beautiful world that we're so privileged to be a part of, my father still kept it, you know, very away from us, and we had a very normal upbringing. So it never really sunk into our heads, you know.
Those who know me and my equation with Krishna Shroff, they refuse to believe that our conversation transcends beyond the terms such as anaconda punch, bare knuckle, heavyweight, lightweight, the ringside view. In fact, Krishna has much more to offer than MMA fights and Khatron, Khiladi and whatnot. Krishna Shroff, thank you so much for joining us on the FPJ.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Good. I'm seeing you after ages.
No, we met in between, right?
When the gym just opened, I
Correct.
think. Yeah. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Yeah.
How have you been?
All good, thank you.
And we see you stepping out a lot, more than ever before.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I am.
We see you at the weddings and Ganpati of Ambani's as well, and you what you're wearing was fabulous over there as well.
Thank you. My mother styled me.
There you go. So what was it like, you know, stepping out, socializing with people more than ever before, post your reality show, and now people know you more because of the reality show, because of who you are and what you love, what you're passionate about. What does it feel like?
It feels amazing. You know, I think my prime motivation for doing a show like Khatron is because I recognize the platform that it is, you know, and you reach out to so many people through it, you know, and I think seeing Tiger's fan base, the tier 2, tier 3 cities and the people from there, they're such a loyal, solid fan base. And you know, my supporters have always been very niche. So it was a blessing to be able to connect with so many people, you know, beyond that.
What was the idea of keeping that fan base very, very niche, as you said? Tiger has a fan following which is massive.
Yeah.
Both classy as well as massy. Yours is very classy, right?
I mean, I guess it's just my personality.
There you go.
Can I say that?
Of course.
No, I just think it's, you know, a certain type of person has been able to relate to me more than others, maybe, and what I stand for and what I put out there and how I present myself, you know. But I think through Khatron, it was really cool because people got to see a whole new side of me. And, you know, I'm so much more than what I portray on Instagram. And I'm glad that people were able to see me for who I am and see all these other aspects to my personality, because it's not just one, you know. I have many, many layers to me.
You certainly do. I still remember those days when we first met during that MMA fight at the Dome. And back in the day, I kept telling your mother, Aisha, that we must rope her in. And she was like, please take her in whatever endeavor possible. And here you are. We always felt that you are natural when it comes to presenting yourself the way you are. No wonder you participated in a reality show as opposed to getting into movies. Absolutely. How do you assess that situation?
Absolutely. I mean, you summarized it perfectly. You know, I'm so comfortable in the reality space and just being who I am and presenting that to the audience, you know. For me, playing a character or being part of a work of fiction is a little awkward, even when I have to shoot a reel of a specific, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Specific mood?
Specific situation that's, you know, pre-planned or whatever. It's very difficult for me. I'm a very spontaneous kind of human being, actions, reactions, emotions, all of it. And I take pride in that, you know, because I feel like that's what makes you relatable. And I like to put my authentic self out there. And I think, you know, even before Khatron, the supporters that I was able to garner was, I think, specifically because of the fact that I was trying to stay true to who I am and put all aspects of me out there, you know. So there was definitely certain things that people could relate to because I just lay it all out there for you to see, you know. and get to know. So yeah, I mean, the reality space is definitely something I feel like I can conquer and just be really good at.
Krishna, but honestly, even in that reality space, when you're projecting yourself on social media accounts, be it Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we see certain bold shoots that you have done as well. That is who you are naturally. You're gifted in terms of body and the temperament. A lot of it has to do with the attitude as well. Where does that attitude come from, and what lines do you draw for yourself beyond which you will not step?
You know, I always say there's a very fine line between good taste and bad taste, and I'm very aware of what equals good taste. So that line will never be crossed. And you had said gifted. I was definitely not gifted this body. I worked really hard for it. You know, I was an overweight child up until my teenage years for some time. And there was a lot of scrutiny on me because of that, you know. And I think where people could take that in a very negative light and shell up, I took that in my stride, and that motivated me and that fueled me to do something transformational and make a change. So, you know, the attitude that you talk about and the confidence that you're noticing comes from that, because I know where I started off from and what I've built to, you know, have this appreciation today. And, you know, just, it's the most empowering feeling in the world, being able to see how much I'm able to push myself, you know, week by week and progress, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Wow. Did that fighting spirit led you to become an entrepreneur in this field, and then Khatron ke Khiladi also happened? How did you galvanize yourself and channelize that energy to be the fighter that you are?
For sure. I mean, being an entrepreneur, you know, I was very sure from an early age that I want to do exactly what I love and truly feel passionate about, so that I can give it my all, you know. And fitness is such a blessing in my life. It's given me an identity away from who everyone expected me to be, you know. And if I could help a random stranger just lead a better quality of life through my actions, then why not? That's such a win in its own right, you know. I think it's important to help motivate and inspire our youth today and kind of lead them in the right direction. And what better way than, you know, healthy living and fitness. Khatron, you know, it fits the brand at the end of the day and who I am and the things that I stand for. But, you know, with this persona that I bring, it also brought that much more pressure.
Correct.
Because people just automatically, okay, you look a certain way, they automatically assume you're going to perform a certain way. Exactly. So sometimes I wish that I came with zero expectations, but then again, that pressure is what drives me.
Were you always sure that no matter what, I'm going to put my foot down, I'm going to win this particular task, and I'm going to do it so well, better than others?
I mean, you always go into something with, you know, if you've put your foot into something, you go into that with that mindset, you know, thinking you can do it and you will do it. And it, as much as I thought I could do it, sitting, you know, on my couch in my living room at home, when you're actually there in that environment, it's 3 times harder than you'd ever expect, you know. But it was also such a cool experience to see what I'm truly capable of and how far I was able to push myself.
At what point did you feel you got scared or this cannot be done?
Definitely the creepy crawlies. You know, for me, the show actually came to me 2 years ago, and the reason I said no to the show was because of the creepy crawlies.
Okay.
I was like, I can do everything except that. You know, I can overcome everything except that. So there was a moment on the show, I had to do a stunt that involved all my fears put together in one box: snakes, cockroaches, and spiders.
Ouch.
And yeah, and you know, I went into that stunt thinking, listen, you, as long as you can endure this and not abort the stunt, just complete the stunt. Just take it for those 10 minutes. You have overcome something for yourself, you know. And honestly, even though I didn't win that particular stunt, I was okay with it, because the fact that I was able to, you know, endure all my fears together in one for those 10 minutes that we had was a huge accomplishment for someone who runs out of the room if there's a cockroach in this one.
Dar ke aage jeet hai, as they say.
Exactly.
Now the fear exists of the crawlies and the creepy creatures.
Who likes them? You know, like, they're still icky, but I probably wouldn't run to the other room anymore.
Which you would do earlier, right?
Yeah.
Krishna, give me a sense of what is it about Shroff family that everybody loves them. Be it Jagu Dada, be it your mom, be it yourself or Tiger. There's something about the family in general, and when I say that, I say with a certain degree of responsibility. In this world, especially the film world, where things are very, very based on projections, at times frivolous and filmy, Shroff family comes as a unit that is very rooted. Can you shed light on the same?
I think for my brother and I, we've had the best example in my parents. You know, they've instilled that into us at a very young age. Even though we were born into this, industry and this amazing, beautiful world that we're so privileged to be a part of, my father still kept it, very away from us, and we had a very normal upbringing. So it never really sunk into our heads, I feel like even today when I go out and I see the way people react to my father and my brother, it's still a very surreal feeling to me. Every time I experience that, I'm so proud, But I think, the four of us were such unique personalities, but at the end of the day, we're who we are, We don't try to be somebody else or something else or put on any mask or face or facade or whatever it is, It just, with us, it is what it is.
While growing up, when you would watch your father's film, him romancing, say, Madhuri Dixit or Raveena or whoever the other actresses, what would you feel? Would you feel envy when he would come back home? What your sentiment was like? What your feelings were like?
Honestly, with his co-stars, as in his heroines, not so much. But I remember watching King Uncle, and I was so pissed that he had a daughter on screen. I was like, that's my spot, like you ain't his daughter. Yeah. That would really irritate me. I was I still am a very possessive person. But yeah, seeing the fact that he had an on-screen daughter would piss me off a little.
The fact that he was romancing Anu Agarwal there did not bother you?
No.
But he had a girl child, he had a, that's something that was a cause for concern.
Yeah.
And then would you went to your anger?
I think so. I'm a very expressive person. I can't hide my emotions.
And when it comes to Tiger now, how protective are you? What exactly goes into understanding how the world functions, the entertainment business? Yeah. Do dialogues happen over there?
I am extremely protective. He's the elder sibling, but I feel like I kind of embody that role a little more than he does. When he got into this industry, I was like, oh my God, but you're too nice for this world. Because he's very sensitive and emotional, And I think you got to be really thick-skinned to be able to take the criticism that comes with it and the judgment that comes with it, because you're putting yourself out there for that.
Isn't that too soft for a person who would lift Tiger at one point in time and just, drop him off?
I mean, now look at him.
Yeah.
I definitely had that over him back in the day, but not so much anymore. I think just, having the experience of growing up, because he was so young when he got into the industry, actually. Growing up in that world and, being exposed to so many different types of people, I think has taught him so much. He's matured so much more, and he actually gives some really, really great advice. And, I think the best thing that I take away from him is his calmness, because I'm a very reactive person, and he's really taught me how to kind of control my emotions. And I think when you can control your mind, you can do anything.
You certainly know that best, because as a fighter, you got to find your center. For sure. What goes into that? Do you meditate? Do you look inward? Because we see the physicality of it. We see the outside and the exterior of it. The interiority of it, can you give us a sense of the same?
So I'm not a professional fighter. I have, everything I do in the fitness space, from MMA to weight training and all of that is purely, just for my own personal growth and in fitness. But I think the gym, honestly, and training, it's therapy for me. It serves as something very therapeutic. I always say, whatever's going on in my life, good, bad, whatever it is, I'm not thinking about it in the hour and a half or 2 hours I'm in the gym, I'm very focused, and it's nice to be able to kind of shut off those noises and not think about anything but being present in the moment. And I think having those moments throughout the day for anyone is so important.
How real are friendship in this world, Krishna? When I ask this, I'm referring to, say, Jagu Dada bonding with Sunil Shetty. Now he's doing a film with him. Yeah. We have seen him doing Aarti at Ambani's Ganpati.
Yeah.
We see you and Disha, going out. and walking together, etc., and being spotted by the paps. So are there real friendship as well in this world as opposed to what people assume?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I can't speak for everyone's relationship or friendship, but for me specifically, I don't allow a lot of people into my circle, and I don't like to give too much of myself and my energy, or even absorb other people's energies. I'm very selective with that. I'm very careful with that. The people who I do have in my circle in my life, they've been with me for a decade plus.
Wow.
So they've seen me through the whole journey and through every phase of life. And those are the ones that will stick forever.
How do you see the stark contrast between Jagu Dada, who straddles both Hindi and English landscape with absolute ease without losing the Bidu personality?
Yeah.
And here you are, classy, speaks with a certain degree of accent. How do you assess the situation? How do you assess the difference between two personalities?
I think it's amazing because the four of us, like I said, we're such a small family and close knit, but we're such opposing personalities. I think the way I present myself or speak is just the way I've been brought up. A lot of people are like, oh, where's that accent from? Or is it fake? Is it real? I mean, it is what it is. I studied at the American School of Bombay. So I was around teachers and students who spoke like that. And it's just something that
you picked up.
You pick up, yeah. It's not something I put on or try to. In fact, I listen to myself back on these interviews. I'm like, oh my God, I do have a really strong accent. Otherwise, I'm not hearing it. But I think it's just the way we were raised.
I'll get back to the same point where I said Shroff family has this warmth about themselves. Therefore, are there guidelines or there are lines in general, as we say Lakshman Rekha, that are drawn to guard the family, to ensure that because you have this strong emotional quotient, it should not be taken advantage of?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, again, I feel like I'm the most protective of that from the four of us. I know a lot of people can want to be associated for their own benefits. My parents are very generous, giving people. I think they have way too much kindness in them to, draw any harsh line or say no too often. So I feel like that's sort of where I come in. And I think I am the biggest protector of that. And, there are certain things that I will bring up to their attention, or tell them you don't have to do this, or things like that, for them to then realize, oh, okay, maybe I should draw the line there.
Your personality in real life is greatly working in your favors as far as reality shows go. What is next from this point onward? Are you going to exploit the same persona perhaps in other shows, or are you going to mold yourself in terms of characterization? Are you going to learn the craft of acting more to be able to sustain and perhaps to explore and exploit what you have perhaps within you?
I realize when it comes to TV and the reality space especially, a lot of people come with a certain character that they want to portray. But for me, I take every day as it comes. I like to be as raw, real, authentic as it gets. I don't like to, put on an act. At the end of the day, it's reality TV. You're supposed to show your own personality, But I realize that's really not it. But I mean, it was my first experience, so I'm learning as I go. But I don't think I'll ever change that about me. I will always be who I am, stay true to that. And, I don't think I necessarily have to change that or mold that. Every experience is different. So that in itself requires a different reaction or a different action, and will have a different emotion. So I'll just ebb and flow like I do. And I think I'm blessed to be in this space and be able to connect with people on such a large platform.
You use the word natural, and nobody could be more natural than Jagu Dada himself. When you see some of his videos, especially the one I'm referring to is Maushichi Maushichi, that went viral like crazy. Do you look at such videos and do you feel, oh, I'm embarrassed, or do you feel, no, this is who you are and let him be who he wants to be?
No way. My father, my family could never embarrass me. I'm their biggest fan, their biggest supporter, and that stays true till the end of time.
Did you giggle while witnessing the video?
Of course, and everywhere I go, people want to show me that video.
I began this interview with this question.
Yeah. It was a beautiful experience. I haven't really gone as much as my family has in the past, just because I've always been a little conscious, camera conscious, things like that. The family, Mukesh ji and Neeta ma'am, they're amazing human beings, so warm. And something that really stood out to me was, Neeta ma'am, I met for the first time at their Ganpati celebration, and she knows and sees everybody, because she told me, she was like, oh, this is the first time you're coming.
Wow.
And with so many people across so many celebrations to notice, little things and details like that, it speaks volumes about them, as human beings. And at the end of the day, the family, like we were discussing earlier, is putting India on the global map, so they're doing great things for this country.
Thank you for saying that, because so many people are commenting in whatever opinion they harbor. They're saying that why this scale and why be such a show off. And we were discussing that. Of course, I mean, you got to put India on the map.
Absolutely.
That we can do it too.
Absolutely.
Your opinion.
Exactly that. I mean, it's, families like them who have the power that they have and using it in such a commendable way is only helping our country progress and go further, so we can only be thankful and grateful to them.
Absolutely. Thankful and grateful to you for having this lovely chat. Thanks
you.
for opening up to us on various facets of your personality, about Shroff family in general, and your way ahead in terms of films and reality shows that you will be doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.